Hello everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to have problem number 30. Write a program to fill an array elements in order from 1 to 100. Then mix the array elements. For example, we'll ask the user how many elements do you want in the array. The user say 5 or 10. He wants to print these animals, which are the numbers, in order from 1 to 10, for example, if the user insert 10. If the user insert 5, from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order, alright? And after that, mix them, shuffle them. Take number 5, put it in state 1. Take number 2, put it in state 4. Take number 3, put it in state whatever, 5 or 1. Okay? So after that, mix them. If, for example, here, if the user input 5, the output should be before we mix the array numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the user insert 5. So print the numbers in order from 1 to 5. After we mix the array numbers, 1, 5 instead 2, 2 instead 5, and 4 instead 5. So we shuffle them, we mix them, okay? Now let's go to Visual Studio to see how we're gonna convert this requirement into code. It's easy and simple and fun. Let's go to Visual Studio to see how we build the program. Alright, this is our solution problem number 30. Write a program to fill an array elements in order, from 1 to 100, then makes the array elements. Let's do run first to see how the program looks like. Perfect. Once we did run, the command display for us this question. How many elements do you want to get? How many elements? 5 numbers, 10 numbers? Let's say 5. Perfect. Once we press 5, we have this output. Before we mix the array numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Compiler print for me the elements or the numbers of the array in order. So 1 to 5 because we insert 5. After we mix the array numbers, after we mix them, shuffle them, it shuffle for me the number instead 1 5, instead 2 4, instead 3 2, instead 4 1, instead 5 3. So compiler shuffle them and makes them. How we did this? Let's go to code to understand. First thing we have get a positive number, you already know it. Swap function, you already know it from the previous courses. Swap is just a swap A to B to B to A by using a temporary variable that we hold a little bit on it or inside it the number to swap the another one. Okay, you already know this. If you want to know how the logic work of the swap, watch the swapping values in a previous course or course number 2. I don't remember actually. And we have get array elements from 1 to the last number. It's same like get array elements with random number. We change its name and the logic also a little bit inside it, and we will get back to explain it. And we have generate random number. We don't change anything inside it. It's same. And this is the new procedure for this problem. To solve this problem, makes the array elements. We'll explain it also, and display array. So basically, we have all the functions that we take them before in the previous lessons, except this one, new one, and this we change a little bit inside it, the logic. Okay. So let's start from the main function. First thing we have here srand. Unsigned terminal. We already know for what to let the rand built-in function work inside the generate random number, and after that integer array of 100 and integer array length equal get a positive number. This is the question. Once we did run on the program, it's played for the user. How many elements do you want to get? I say for example 5 is stored inside array length, so our length it will be 5 numbers, 5 elements. And after that we fill the array elements from 1 to the last number in order. This function, it fill the numbers of the array inside the indexes of the array in order 1 2 3 4 5. If our length it's 5 or 10 till 10. Okay, so let's go to get array elements from 1 to the last number. We change a little bit inside the logic, but it's easy. Integer I equals 0 while I less than length 0 less than 5 because our length it's 5. Array of I, the first index, equal I plus 1. I plus 1 because the array index starts from 0, so we want to start from 1 to store a number 1 inside the first index, which is 0. So array of I, here the first index, which is 0, equal I still 0, plus 1, I plus 1, 0 plus 1, it gives us 1 stored in the first index, which is index 0, but the number that will be stored inside the index is number 1. And I plus plus, I already represent 1. Array of I, which is already represented 1, equal I plus 1. I plus 1 give me 2. 2, number 2 is stored inside the second index of the array, which is represent number 1. The second index of the array represent number 1 because the indexes of the array start from 0. Okay, so the second index is not number 2. The second index is represent number 1 in the array because the first index of the array, I will come right now. Sorry, the second index in the array represent number 1, and the first index in the array represent number 0. For that we say I plus 1. Okay, and so on until the while stem condition become false. The compiler print for me or fill for me the arrays indexes with elements or numbers in order. All right, so this is the get array elements from 1 to the last number. Let's get back to the main function. After that, what we do, we just display them. We fill them, right? We fill the elements of the array in order, or the numbers in order. Now we want to print them in order also. We will use the string before we mix the array numbers. We use our generic function or procedure display array. We give it the array. It's already filled with the numbers or the elements in order, and we mix them after that by using this procedure, mix the array elements. It takes the array still in order, we don't mix them, and the length. Let's go to the mix the array elements procedure. It takes the array as we said and the length in its parameter. Integer I equals 0 while I less than array, 0 less than 5 because we insert 5, so our length is 5. Yes. And we have these two lines of code. It's easy, just focus here with me to understand what I mean. Integer number 1, we define integer data type. Number 1, normal variable. It's empty till now. Okay, number 1 variable is empty. Equal generate random number from 1 to array of length. From 1 to array of length. So this is my range. I want the compiler return for me a random number according to my range. From where I will bring my range? My range is starting from 1 to array of length. Array of length is stored inside number 5 because the user insert on console screen number 5. So we have 5 numbers. I want the compiler play with these 5 numbers, shuffle them, mix them, and return for me random number. For example, the compiler for first time return for me from 1 to 5 from my range, according to my range, within my range, number 5 stored inside number 1. So now number 1 variable, it has from my range number 5. Randomly bring me number according to my range or from my range randomly and store it inside num1. Okay, and we do the same but different variable num2. We also got a random number according to my range from my range, which is 1 to 5. Let's say number 1, we store it inside num2, and here we come to swap it by using swap function that you already know it from the previous course. If you don't know it, you have to check that lesson, swap values, to understand the logic that's working inside. It's easy and stupid, just maybe you forget it, get back to that lesson to understand how it's working, swap function logic. So and after that we swap. We say swap num1, we take number 5 that the command return for me according to my range or from my range, according to or by using this function generate random number. We already used it many times in previous lessons. Take number 5 that's inside num1 variable, and num2, swap them. Take 5, store it inside 2 or put it instead of 2, and get back again I++, and I have two different numbers from my range according to my range, or from my range from 1 to 5. I want numbers, random numbers, just from my range, not from another range, just from my range. And my range, it will be decided according to the length, according to my length that the number that the user inserted to the screen, that it will be my length. Okay, and here don't forget to do -1 after you use the function of generate random number and put it the range, or you set the range -1 because the indexes of the array start from 0, so it will be 1 extra. So we wanted -1 to here. I write it for you, subtract 1 to convert it to valid 0 based indexes to be valid. Okay, the base of indexes. So that's how we mix the array elements. So let's get back to main function. First, we fill them. We fill the array with elements or numbers in order. We display them before we mix them. After that, we mix them. And after that, we print them again after we mix the array elements. And we use the same procedure display array, but already we shuffle them, mix them. It gives us this result. Let's do run again. Check it out together. How many elements do you want to cut? 10 this time. Perfect. Before we mix the array numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 10 in order the numbers. After we mix the array numbers, instead 1, 8, instead 2, 7, instead 3, 4, the compiler makes them or shuffle. So that's how we mix the array elements. That was the problem of 30. Write the program to fill an array elements in order from 1 to 100. Then mix the array elements. You have to watch the lesson more than one if you not understand. You have to get back to the swap values lesson if you don't know how it's work. You have to get back to get positive number, the previous lessons in course 2 or 1, I don't know, or 3, I think, when we start to explain the get positive number. You have to or in the beginning of this course number 4, you have to understand this logic, how it's work, get array elements from 1 to the last number. If you not understand the logics of each function, how it's work, and you write it by yourself from the scratch, you will not be a good developer. I promise you. You want to be a good developer, you have to think like a developers. How to think like developers? Practice. There is no magic, no shortcut, no confusing. Practice, practice, practice. You listen to me, you see the code, you see the function what is do, and now write it by yourself. And while you write it by yourself, you're writing the functions and the logic of the function. 1 second, please. And the logic of the function, you have to talk to yourself. Why I'm writing here get array elements from 1 to the last number? Because I want to fill the array elements or numbers in order. So how I will do it? First, I will do integer I 0 equals 0 y to compare it with the length. Perfect. What I will use? While statement, for statement, any statement is fit for you. While and for all of them good. While I0 greater than or less than length, which is 5. Why are array length stored inside 5? Because the user insert 5. Okay? And okay, array of I catch the first index, still empty. How I fill it? I'll take I plus 1. I make number 1, store inside first index of array of I. And that's it. And that's how you should to develop. You think. You talk to yourself like crazy, okay? I mean, like, talk to yourself to understand how the logic of the functions work. And if you watch me, or if you watch me and you watch the lessons in order from the beginning of the course till now, it will be easy for you, this code. You will be already good in this level. You have to be already good in this level if you were practice. Sorry, if you watch me and practice too. Not just watch me like football match. No, if you watch me and practice too, you will be already, like, it will be nothing for you, this code. It's easy, really easy, but you have to practice. And that was the lesson of today, problem of 30. See you next lesson, next problem.